Been a while. How you doing? It's dog hole. Very fucking up. Dog hole news. Wow. Out the gate. Butchering it. June 9th, 2025. And I'm Cam Pupper. Here to give you the news. I mean, it's been like a year. There's so much news to cover. Let's start here. If we're going to be continuing this, don't be surprised if you see some May. Okay? Researchers puzzle over a rash of baby monkey kidnappings. This is an NPR. Little monkey. In this still from a wildlife camera, a 1 to 2 day old howler monkey infant clings to the body of a young capuchin monkey. Scientists say the capuchins are likely kidnapping the howler babies for their own amusement. In an island in Panama, a fad that one researcher called viscerally disturbing has recently taken off among a group of young male monkeys. These adolescents and juveniles have started to kidnap the infants of other monkey species, seemingly just for kicks. These monkeys are demented. That's what scientists think after watching a bunch of male white-faced capuchin monkeys walking around the baby howler monkeys clinging to their backs. The perplexing baby snatchings reported in the journal Current Biology suggest that humans aren't the only intelligent species with youngsters that pursue apparently pointless activities that can be destructive to other creatures. Look, this is really me derailing things here, but this is what I've always said about aliens. Because you always have these alien experts justifying them. I'm like, what if aliens are here and they're just dicks? Well, they're just fucking around. There's no higher motive needed. They're just doing it for the sake of doing it, to reduce their boredom or have something to do to fill the time and space in their lives. And I think seeing this occur in another species is somewhat terrifying because it kind of reflects a mirror on the actions that we do as people, said Brendan Barrett. Come on, Brendan, grow up. He's an expert in animal culture at the Max Planck Institute of Animal Behavior in Germany and a member of the research team, who is also a research associate at the Smithsonian Tropical Research Institute. He describes capuchin monkeys as chaos agents that roam through the forest, ripping up and manipulating everything in sight, and says they're similar to humans and chimps in many ways. They're highly innovative. They're highly explorative, he says. They do interesting, strange things. Island innovators. The capuchins that started kidnapping howler monkey babies live on Jericon Island, which is part of Panama's Coiba National Park. Unlike mainland capuchins, these island monkeys have figured out how to use stone tools to break open hard food items like seeds, crabs, and coconuts. That's why scientists have been watching them there since 2017 with the help of wildlife cameras. Good old Zoe Goldsboro, a behavioral ecologist with the Max Planck Institute of Animal Behavior and Smithsonian Research Associate, was reviewing camera footage when, to her surprise, she saw a capuchin carrying a howler monkey baby. It was not something we'd seen before. It's not something I've heard of happening, said Goldsboro. There was, I think, a split second where I wondered if it could have just been a capuchin that looked very weird, but then it was very quickly clear that it was a different species. Curious, she started looking through some more of the footage, and it became apparent that this wasn't just a one-off. It happened repeatedly, starting in January of 2022, with a particular immature male that the researchers called Joker. They call him the fucking Joker! They call the monkey the Joker! That's kidnapping babies! Why? Monkey Joker! Seems to be the innovator of this new activity. Joker is recognizable because of a small scar on his face, says Goldsboro, and over a few months the cameras caught him carrying around 4 different infants, holding on to each of them for up to 9 days. Can't get over this, is great. This is a tragic development for the baby howlers. Hello, Mortis! Mortis! There's this monkey kidnap. There's this. There's these capuchin monkeys that are kidnapping howler monkeys And the one that's leading them off, the researchers are calling the Joker. Joker is recognizable because of a small scar on his face, said Goldsboro, and over a few months the cameras caught him carrying on 4 different infants, holding on to each of them for up to 9 days. This was a tragic development for the baby howlers, as they had no nourishment and noticeably deteriorated over time. He's fucking twisted! Monkey Joker's fucking killing other monkeys, killing their babies. They're probably likely They're likely probably dying from dehydration or lack of nutrition, says Barrett, who notes that these babies need their mother's milk and that several were actually seen dead in camera footage. That is sad. But why would they name him the Joker? Other male capuchins who saw Joker's novel behavior, however, decided to copy it. My god, he's become mimetic. Starting in September and over a period of 6 months, the researchers saw 4 other immature males, 2 subadults, and 2 juveniles carrying around howler infants. These capuchins have gotten a hold of at least 7 different howler monkey babies and carried them for stretches of 2 to 8 days. Monkey see, monkey do. You can't help yourselves. This is serious fucking shit. The Joker's killing babies, and you're making fucking little monkey puns. Although animals do sometimes adopt the young of other species that are lost or abandoned, this doesn't seem to be the case here. In part because of the sheer number of babies. Plus, researchers could hear adult howler monkeys calling back and forth with the infants who would sometimes try to crawl away. Camera footage showed on one occasion when adult howler came and tried to retrieve a baby and capuchin scared it off. Yeah, you know, I got those scars. He has a little scar. It's got a little Joker scar. Because the actual abductions that likely occurred in the trees, they were not captured on camera. But the researchers note that adult howlers are nearly 3 times the weight of immature capuchins, so a would-be kidnapper might face serious risks. I personally really want to know how they're getting them, but mostly also how much effort are they putting into that, said Goldsboro, who notes that the number of stolen babies suggests that these capuchins may be traveling some distance to go find them, since only a few small groups of howler monkeys live nearby, and that I would find completely bizarre if they would go through so much effort to go get these babies. While the capuchin named Joker seemed to take a caring and affectionate stance towards the babies, at least he killed them. The other capuchins that copied him seemed largely indifferent to the infants they carried and sometimes even annoyed. Adult capuchins in the group, meanwhile, seem blasé. There's not tremendous social interest. You know, they're not acting in the way that someone would act if I was carrying, like, you know, a baby lion on my shoulder, said Barrett. To Goldsboro, the fact that Joker's behavior got copied by his peers reveals the strength of these monkeys' drive to learn from others, even if the behavior doesn't completely make sense or have an obvious immediate benefit. Even for these monkeys' stone tool use, which takes some time to master, she notes, there's a period of time, especially when you're young, that you are just copying this behavior with very little payoff. Caught on camera. This isn't the first time these animals have been observed engaging in seemingly purposeless behavior that seemed to spread through their groups. Chimpanzees, for example, don't drag them into this, have been spotted wearing blades of grass in their ears, apparently as a fashion trend, and orcas have been seen wearing dead salmon on their heads, almost like hats. I'd like to see that. Is that a link to that? I'll look at that next. It is unusual, though, to capture the rise and spread of a new trend solely by using footage from remote cameras. So that was kind of an exciting thing, said Barrett, finding another way of studying animal culture. For the howler monkey's sake, he hopes that the cameras catch the extinction of this hobby, because the baby snatchings have got to be hitting local howler monkey population hard, as these monkeys don't reproduce often and have only one baby at a time. One of these things the researchers want to understand now is if the howler monkeys will start to change their behavior to adjust to this terrifying, unexpected new threat on an island that has long been kind of a safe haven with no large predators and abundant food. The easy living on the island may actually be why the capuchins have the time and freedom to do random things that lead to activities like tool use or kidnappings, researchers say. We know that in humans, said Goldsboro, boredom is incredibly conductive to creativity and innovation. Yeah, ain't that the truth? For these island capuchins, grabbing howler monkey babies may simply become something to do to pass the time. Yeah, I'm taking your baby because I'm bored. In a kind of boring environment where it's relatively safe to come up with these kind of potentially risky innovations. Christopher, what, Krupp, Kruppenet? Kruppenye, who studies cognition in primates at Johns Hopkins University, wasn't part of this research team. Says he's seen other primates in captivity capturing and playing around with animals that they don't eat. This is much longer than I thought. Oh, this is the end. Okay. In this case, the innovator may have driven by curiosity and interest, said Cropenier. And given how social and cultural capuchins are, other observers may have started copying the behavior. He thinks the camera trap footage is a huge asset to this research program, but it would be helpful to have more direct observations of the capuchins and how they interact with howlers to better understand how these infant captures occur, as well as how they spread. Capuchins are a notoriously cultural species, showing all kinds of adaptive cultural traditions, like using tools to obtain food, but also many arbitrary ones, he notes. One community had a tradition where individuals will put a groupmate's fingers in their own eyes. What? Alright. That's interesting, but wearing salmon as hats is in vogue. Do we have a picture? If there's no picture, I don't give a shit, there's no picture. Here we go. There's a little spoiler there at the end of the other one. The escaped zebra causes chaos on Tennessee Highway and flees into the woods. This happened on June 2nd. Authorities in Tennessee are searching for a pet zebra that escaped from its owner's home and went for a run on the highway. The Rutherford County Sheriff's Office said on social media that the zebra arrived at its new home Friday and escaped less than 24 hours later. The striped equine caused chaos on Interstate 24 near Joby Jackson Parkway in Rutherford County, where it was seen running through traffic on both sides of the highway. Deputies closed the interstate in both directions, but the zebra escaped into a nearby wooded area. The search for the zebra continued Sunday, but the animal remained unaccounted for Monday morning. Zebras are illegal to be kept as pets in Tennessee without any special permits. Great. Is there footage? Yes. We can go. Probably all I can do. Oh, getting flagged. Oh my god, that's great. Look at him go. But we got good news. The runaway pet zebra has been captured in Tennessee. Look at him. Look at this guy. They got his ass. In Murfreesboro, Tennessee, a runaway pet zebra that was on the loose for more than a week in Tennessee and became an internet sensation in the process was captured Sunday. Yeah, I know. They carried him away like King Kong. They're going to take him to New York. Ed the zebra, they called him Ed, was captured safely after being located in a pasture near a subdivision in the Christiana community in central Tennessee. The Rutherford County Sheriff's Office confirmed. The Sheriff's Office said aviation crews captured the zebra. They fucking came down on him in a helicopter. Ed was airlifted and flown by helicopter back to an waiting animal trailer, the Sheriff's Office said in a statement. Video posted by the sheriff's office showed Ed wrapped in a net with his head sticking out as he is carried by the helicopter to the trailer. Ed arrived in Christiana on May 30th, the sheriff said. His owner reported missing the next day. The zebra was spotted and filmed running along Interstate 24, as we had seen, and Ed escaped into a wooded area. There were several sightings posted to social media. Ed was filmed trotting through a neighborhood. The zebra quickly became a subject of internet memes. One fake posting showed Ed dining at a Waffle House, a southern staple. Others had him visiting other Tennessee cities or panhandling on the side of the road. The pursuit of Ed came a month after a runaway kangaroo shut down a section of Alabama interstate. I think I'd covered not that story, but a different runaway kangaroo. There he is. There's Ed. Alright. Apparently it's real. 5-foot gator just chilling in the sewer stares back at the camera. Florida video shows. A camera sent into the sewers of Oviedo, Florida, found a 5-foot alligator lounging in the dark, and it's suspected the reptile may live in the subterranean pipes that crisscross the city. God, sewer gators! That's because a gator the same size was recorded during a camera survey in 2023. He's back! We did a routine check of the pipe under Lockwood Boulevard and discovered our friend was back, just chilling, the city wrote in a May 15th Facebook post. We aren't sure if this is the same alligator from a few years ago, but it's just as fun to watch. Look at him. The camera entered the concrete pipes to inspect for damage, and video shows its encounter the alligator was 90 feet in, sitting in a puddle. The alligator responded by waddling about 250 feet deeper into the pipe in search of deeper water. It was last seen with its head exposed, giving the camera serious side-eye treatment. 4,000 people had watched the video within a day, including some who suggested the city start a live streaming service from the sewer for subscribers. Names for the alligator have already been suggested, including Pipe Puppy, what? And Oviedo Pipe Gator. Well, that one's just boring. That one's stupid, and that one's boring. I wish there was a 24-hour sewer alligator cam. I'd watch it. Leanne Tepper posted on the city's Facebook page. What's next? Ninja Gators? Eileen Morse wrote. Grow up. Concerns for the alligator's safety were also expressed, and city officials assured commenters it doesn't need to be rescued. Storm drains allow alligators to come and go, the city said. The alligators can easily navigate in and out of storm water pipes without issue, city officials told McClatchy News in an email. We have many lakes in the Econ-Lock-Hatchie River in the area, and the pipes are pretty big, so they wouldn't get stuck. Alligators are native to Florida's waterways and can top 14 feet and 1,000 pounds. The Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission reports May and June are mating seasons for the reptiles. And Oviedo is apparently a 20-mile drive northeast from Orlando. I read that at first as Bigfoot Man. I didn't check if there's any Bigfoot news. There is Bigfoot news. Why? Multiple Bigfoot news. A lot of Bigfoot news out there. We'll cover this one because it seems silly. A reported Bigfoot sighting in Monroe prompts cannabis dispensary to offer discount for photographic proof. Longtime residents recall similar Monroe monsters from the 1960s. It's got a weed place. If you get a picture of Bigfoot, you get one free pre-roll. That doesn't really. If I get a picture of Bigfoot, come on. Reported Bigfoot sighting in Monroe has made headlines across the country. I've heard a lot of talk about it. In fact, when I first heard about it, I was in Baltimore, Maryland. Heard about it there. I said, oh my gosh, I leave home for a week and look what happened, said Bob Virgils, voice of the Toledo Walleye hockey team and Monroe County resident. Virgils said the report of Bigfoot near Lap Lassance Road is a talker. The account by a local 47-year-old and his 12-year-old son was published in the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization, also known as the BFRO, for you Bigfoot heads out there. It's for you squatchers. People are always talking about the BFRO. The story took off from there, getting widespread distribution via the Associated Press. The publicity prompted a nearby cannabis dispensary to offer a discount to anyone who comes in with photographic proof of Bigfoot. There was what was called the Monroe Monster years ago, after first fuel was loaded into the Fermi I reactor. Fermi 1? Someone saw a big creature out near the Fermi power plant, and so I think it's really funny that this was spotted near where that was. Although they really didn't say where the location was, but it's near where the Monroe Monster was seen way back in the 1960s. Yeah, if you discover Bigfoot, you get proof of Bigfoot, you bring them in. Look, I just want to kill one. I'm just killing one Bigfoot here. Just the first one. With a brand new dollar bill. How are we doing on time? Let me see something here. I got some downer articles. It's like, I guess they're not that downer. Little morbid. Little morbid. But at some point, we cover weird shit. I like werewolf news. So anything that's werewolf news. There's a lot of shit like this. That's why. And it wasn't happening a lot when I did Dog Hole News Season 1. But there's always people killing each other. And they're claiming they're werewolves. Schoolgirl 12, when she was 12, murdered her entire family, including a brother who was 8, along with the help of her werewolf boyfriend. A schoolgirl who was only 12 years old when she murdered her entire family, including her 8-year-old brother, is now free and has a new identity. We take a look at what happened that fateful day. It was a dull. Is this her at 12? I guess so. It was a dull, drizzly day in April 2006 when officers stumbled upon the bodies of Mark Richardson, who was 42, his wife Deborah, who was 48, and their 8-year-old son Jacob in the quiet town of Medicine Hat in Alberta, Canada. Jacob's young friend had arrived for a playdate only to discover the bodies, rushing to tell his mother, who then notified police. Oh my god, can you fucking imagine being 8 years old, ready to go to your buddy's house to play, and you go over and his whole fucking family's dead? That kid's gotta be traumatized. Although that was 20 years ago, maybe he's doing better. Hope you're okay, nearly 30-year-old Jacob's young friend. All the best to you. Mark had 24 stab wounds, Deborah had 12 stab wounds, and their 8-year-old son had a slit throat and stab wounds to his head and torso. That day, police also discovered the family's 12-year-old daughter Jasmine was missing, raising fears she too might have been a victim of a horrific crime. But the next day, Jasmine was found in Leader, Saskatchewan. I can never say it! Saskatchewan. There we go. 80 miles away from the crime scene. She was found hurt. That's the family. They couldn't get better quality. She was found her 23-year-old boyfriend. She's 12 and dating a 23-year-old. Jesus. Jeremy Stink. In a shocking turn of events, both were arrested and charged with the murders. Investigators had uncovered a stick figure drawing depicting her family being murdered inside Jasmine's locker at school. What? The family had been brutally murdered in their home by their own daughter, Jasmine Richardson, and her older boyfriend, Jeremy Stink. As the investigation unfolded, disturbing details were discovered about the couple's relationship, as Jasmine's friends revealed her parents had grounded her for dating Stink due to the big age gap. But it wasn't just the age difference that was worrying. Stink, I'm going with Stink, was obsessed with the supernatural, even claiming even claiming to be a 300-year-old werewolf who wore a vial of blood around his neck and frequented a vampire website. Jasmine had a profile on the same site, leading to speculation that they had met online, but an acquaintance later confirmed they had met locally in person. Days before the murder, Stink and his friends had watched the film Natural Born Killers, a violent tale of a couple on a killing spree. Stink expressed admiration for the film, suggesting that he and Jasmine should carry out their plans in a similar fashion. Later, Stank's friend Casey Lancaster, who was 19, was charged for being an accessory for driving them away in her pickup truck later in the day and for disposing of evidence. Look at this guy. It's a goddamn werewolf. During his trial in 2008, it came out that Stank had admitted that the murders in conversation with undercover officers. He was found guilty and sentenced to 3 life sentences and will be eligible for parole after 25 years. Well, hopefully he never is. The undercover internet vampires. But Jasmine's case took a different turn due to her age. Under the Youth Criminal Justice Act, she could not be sentenced as an adult or receive a sentence longer for 10 years for crimes committed before the age of 14. In July 2007, at the age of 13, she was found guilty of 3 counts of first-degree murder and sentenced to 10 years in prison. During her incarceration, Jasmine showed signs of remorse and underwent rehabilitation and began attending classes at Mount Royal University in Calgary in 2011. By October 2012, reports suggesting her rehabilitation was progressing well, with experts recognizing her genuine remorse. In May 2016, after completing her sentence, she was freed. And at the time of her sentencing, Jasmine was the youngest person in Canada to be convicted of multiple murders. The now 31-year-old is living under a new identity in a secret location. Wow. I personally do believe in rehabilitation, especially for young people. Less so for this guy. I mean, you're 23. You kind of know what you're doing. You know? You're not 12. Like, for fucking a 12-year-old alone. Come on. I'm being a weirdo, fucking werewolf. Yeah, okay, yeah, the comments are made, like, if this was 2016, why is it getting covered now? I don't know. Another murder. Australian woman on trial for mushroom murder of in-laws says she was trying to fix a bland lunch. I like this lady. In Wellington, New Zealand, before Erin Pattinson's in-laws and their relatives, she's fucking. Like, she really hates her in-laws, huh? Ooh. Just skip Thanksgiving. I guess they're Kiwis or Australians. Like, just don't go to Thanksgiving. Skip the holidays, folks. You don't have to kill your family. Just don't show up. Make up an excuse. My dog is sick. I sprained my ankle. I got pizza the other night and I've been having diarrhea. My wife's grandmom died. You have plenty of excuses. Before Erin Pattinson's in-laws and relatives arrived at her home for lunch, she brought pricey ingredients, consulted friends about recipes, and sent her children out to a movie. Then the Australian woman served them a dish containing poisonous death cap mushrooms, a meal that was fatal for 3 of her 4 guests. Whether that was Patterson's plan as the heart of a triple murder trial has gripped Australia for nearly 6 weeks. Let's see. Prosecutors in the Supreme Court case in the state of Victoria say the accused lured her guest to lunch with a lie about having cancer. Oh my god. Before deliberately feeding them toxic fungi. But her lawyers say the tainted beef Wellington she served was a tragic accident caused by a mushroom storage mishap. She denies murdering her estranged husband's parents, Don and Gail Patterson, and their relative, Heather Wilkinson. The mother of two also denies attempting to murder Heather's husband Ian Wilkinson, who survived the meal. In a rare step for a defendant charged with murder, Patterson chose to speak in her own defense at her trial this week. I'm sure that's going great. On Wednesday, she spoke publicly for the first time about the fateful lunch in July 2023 and offered explanations on how she planned the meal and didn't become sick herself. Adding more mushrooms to a bland meal. No one disputes that Patterson, 50, served death cap mushrooms to her desk for her guests for lunch in the rural town of Leongatha, but she says she did it unknowingly. Patterson said Wednesday she splurged on expensive ingredients and researched ideas to find something special to serve. She deviated from her chosen recipe to improve the bland flavor, she said. She believed she was adding dried fungi bought from an Asian supermarket from a container in her pantry, she told the court. Now I think that there was the possibility that there were some foraged ones in there as well, she told her lawyer, Colin Mandy. Patterson had foraged wild mushrooms for years, she told the court Tuesday, and had put some in her pantry weeks before the deaths. The accused said she shouldn't have lied about cancer. Oh. Patterson, who formerly separated from her husband Simon Patterson in 2015, so you're killing him fucking... It's been over for years. Said she felt hurt when Simon told her the night before the lunch that he wasn't comfortable attending. So she wanted to kill him, huh? And then the in-laws still showed up? This is weird. She earlier told his relatives that she arranged the meal to discuss her health. Patterson admitted this week she never had cancer, but after a health scare, she told her in-laws she did. In reality, Patterson said she intended to have weight loss surgery, but she was too embarrassed to tell anybody and planned to pretend to her in-laws that she was undergoing cancer treatment instead. I was ashamed of the fact that I didn't have control over my body or what I ate. I didn't want to tell anybody, but I shouldn't have lied to them. They're your in-laws of a guy you haven't been with for 10 years. Who gives a shit? Don't fucking tell them nothing. Patterson says she threw up her mushroom meal. The accused says she believes she was spared the worst effects of the poison meal because she was self-induced vomiting shortly after her lunch guests left. She had binged on most of a cake and then made herself throw up, a problem she had struggled with for decades. Patterson also believes that she had eaten enough of the meal to cause her subsequent diarrhea. She then sought hospital treatment, but unlike her guests, she quickly recovered. At the hospital, her guest's health was deteriorating. Her estranged husband asked her about the dehydrator she used to dry her foraged mushrooms. Is that how you poisoned my parents? Said Simon Patterson asked her. Growing afraid she would be blamed for the poisoning that her children would be taken from her, Patterson said she later disposed of her dehydrator. She told investigators that she never owned one and hadn't foraged for mushrooms before. While still at the hospital, she insisted that she bought all the mushrooms at the stores, even though she said she knew it was possible that foraged mushrooms had accidentally found their way into the meal. She was too frightened to tell anyone, Patterson said. Also, later, Patterson said She's saying that about herself? Or that's the husband. Also, later, Patterson said she remotely wiped her cell phone while it sat in an evidence locker to remove pictures of mushrooms she foraged. Prosecutors argued in opening their case in April that she had poisoned her husband's family on purpose, although they didn't suggest a motive. She carefully avoided poisoning herself and faked being ill. The trial continues on Thursday with Patterson's cross-examination by prosecutors. If convicted, she faces life in prison for murder and 25 years for attempted murder. That's alright. Time for video game news. 5 retro games that hold up today. We don't read this in that copy. Super Mario Sunshine. Some people forget that being the worst 3D Mario is still better than 99% of games. It's a bad reputation. It's widely considered to be the low point of 3D Mario games, and playing it over 20 years after release, it holds up much better than other games. Yes, it still has some bugs, and the pachinko level continues to be a nightmare, but the core design is still excellent. Not only does each location on Delfino Island get used in interesting ways, like the hotel casino serving as the boo. Alright. Number 4 of 5 retro games that still hold up today. Harvest Moon, Magical Melody. It's one of the best Harvest Moon games. We're living in a world where Stardew Valley is the best cozy game around, and it has inspired a new wave of great farming sims. It's still worth checking out some of the classics that inspired it. One of those is Harvest Moon Magical Melody, which was released on the Nintendo GameCube in 2005. Okay. Number 3, Diablo 2. Sucks. Number 2, Pokemon Fire Red. Yes, the remake is old enough to be retro. I gotta look at this guy's articles after this. Number 1, Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door. You don't need. You don't need a new version. Who are you? James Carr? Look at this guy. Motherfucker. The top 10 NES games of all time. Oh boy. What do you think's there? What the fuck do you think is there? Let's see. Super Mario Bros. Sure. Oh, we covered this, I think. Well, I think maybe I just covered this by posting the link in the fucking Discord at some point. Obviously, I didn't because I haven't done on stream, I mean. But I remember reading this. Nintendo would later improve upon it nearly never. It's like, it's great. It's like one of the fucking best Mario games. Kind of losing the plot here. Here we go. Classic 80s retro games that have aged poorly. SimCity. Okay. Maniac Mansion. Alright. So far, okay. I guess. Pitfall. No, I got no love for Pitfall. Metroid NES. You know. I'm a bit of a Metroid NES defender, but a lot of people seem to hate it. Simply, too many pitfalls. Pole position. Okay, yeah, I mean. Come on! No. No, 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 no! This is fucking no. They got me here. They got me raging. They fucking you fucking cocksuckers. God damn you. Fucking clickbait bullshit. No. Mm-mm. Let's see what the reasons are. Zelda, by the way, for anyone just listening audio. Uh, Legend of Zelda, the original for NES, is number 5 on this list of 10 poorly aged games. Developed and published by Nintendo, Legend of Zelda was the first installment in a series that would grow into the most iconic in gaming. The original game follows, yes, we know that. Why are you? It's among the best NES games and for good reason, at least for its time. However, when compared to later installments in the series, it hasn't aged as well. The game includes features that weren't available across all regions, and the gameplay feels relatively stilted by modern standards. I think you're stupid. Its limited weapon variety and vague progression also make it harder to revisit today. I love the original Zelda. What's wrong with these people? Altered Beast, number 4. Altered Beast is fun? What, what, what is wrong with you people? Hating on original Metal Gear? You know, like, that's the Metal Gear. Original Metal Gear, on solid, is number 3. Like, it's like a fine game. What do you mean aged badly? Donkey Kong, really? No. Donkey Kong the arcade game is great. Mentioning Popeye here, I guess we should read this. Originally conceived as a Popeye adaptation, the game retained elements that still reflect their origin. Yeah, we know that. The platforming mechanics are particularly stiff. No, they're not. By modern standards, with limited precision in Mario's movement. Compared to later entries in both Mario and Donkey Kong, the controls feel unrefined. You're bad. You're bad at games. Who is this? Is this the same guy? No, this is a different guy. This is Marley Hughes. We're going to look at your fucking... What else you've written. Number 1, Pac-Man is beyond repetitive. Fuck you. Get out of here. Look at this guy. This motherfucker. Favorite internet show, Angry Video Game Nerd. Ten underrated retro games everyone forgot about, ranked. Ten classic games everyone loved the age. He's getting me on these. He is getting my clicks. Alright, we're going to check these out. Marley Hughes is back. 10 underrated retro games everyone forgot about, ranked. Battle Tanks. Should have tanked like it did. Care about Battle Tanks. Quarantine. Shouldn't have been quarantined. Maybe, because I've never heard of Quarantine. I don't know this one. Shadowrun. Should have stayed in the shadows. This guy. He likes his little things. He likes his little... Clay Fighter. Should have been a major... No, Clay Fighter's bad. I think Clay Fighter's bad. It was fun as a child. My buddy had it on Super Nintendo. It was fun, you know, but I think it's bad. Like, it's not, like... Quarantine's good? Okay. What's it on? Defender of the Crown. I haven't played this. I don't know. I guess these are forgotten, because I don't know Defender of the Crown. Oh, an Amiga. One of you Amiga people. Loom. I do know Loom. Then you play all through Loom, or was that Burpo? I watched one of you play all through Loom once. While a couple years ago now, I think. You both did. I was I mean, if you did, then it was probably you, because that would make sense. Loom. Fantasy Star, more than fantasy. I mean, I had the original Fantasy Star, the Game Boy Advance version. I did not think it was good. That's the type of thing that should have been poorly aged, maybe. But I also don't think Fantasy Star is forgotten. Legend of Dragoon. People talk about the Legend of Dragoon all the fucking time. They love it. They suck it off. Blast Corpse. This is another Twitch favorite. Body Harvest. I don't know Body Harvest. I'm not gonna Google Body Harvest. Realizing maybe if I do Body Harvest and 64. It's just Helldivers. Just Helldivers. Alright. We're gonna do I have a surprise on the last one a little bit. I mean, I don't. The writer does, I guess. I had looked at that one ahead of time. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But that's not this one. This is 10 classic games everyone loved that have aged poorly from the 2000s. Again, by Marley Hughes. How about you, Marley? The Sims. He really hates The Sims. The Sims was on his other list. SimCity was. He just doesn't like The Sims. Nintendogs. Doesn't like Nintendogs. Beautiful Joe isn't beautiful today. Beautiful Joe is good. It's fun. I haven't played it maybe in 10 years, okay? So, but I remember really enjoying it. So, fuck you on that. Jet Set Radio feels like a chore. Come on. Perfect Dark isn't all that perfect. Sky. Yeah, Nintendogs, Chihuahua, Nintendogs, Basset, Nintendogs, Dalmatian. Conker's Bad Fur Day. Well, I don't think everyone loved Conker's Bad Fur Day. I don't think that they did. I think that's not it. Raymond Raving Rabbits. Yeah, never. I never liked Raymond Raving Rabbits. I remember people hating the rabbits. Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. Sure, I guess. Kingdom Hearts is only held together by Disney characters. The camera controls in Kingdom Hearts are especially poor. I mean, I don't ever want to play Kingdom Hearts again. So maybe he's got me there. Played it a lot as a child. Loved it. I don't think I ever want to play it again. The original, I mean. I still never played 3. Probably never will play 3. They come out with one and it has a bunch of characters that I care about because they start milking like fucking Marvel and Star Wars and all sorts of. They had the Predator and the Xenomorph. Then sure, maybe I'll try it again. Just Disney characters and these sexy, sexy Final Fantasy men and women. Blinks. No one ever cared about Blinks. You can't say that it was beloved when no one fucking played Blinks. Alright. Final piece for the day. I haven't talked this much in a while. Non-stop. I can feel it. 10 best licensed games on the NES. Gremlins 2. This is by Devin Lord? This guy. Look at this fucking guy. He's a full-time nerd. He's a full-time nerd! He's got some good shit here. This is good fucking shit here. Better than that other guy. 10 best retro Nintendo puzzle games. Let's see his taste. Real quick. Yoshi. Alright. Yuri's Avalanche. Haven't played it. Kirby Star Attacker. Haven't played that one either. Yoshi's Cookie. I played a lot of that. Warrior Woods. Love it. Mario's P-Cross. I never played a P-Cross game. Dream Course. Yeah, Dream Course is good. Dr. Mario. Dr. Mario is good. Tetris Attack. Yeah. Donkey Kong. I mean, I love this version of Donkey Kong. Alright? I think it's one of my favorite games. But I feel like it's very different from all these other puzzle games listed. So like I don't understand. But I do like that. I like that game. All right. Gremlins, back to 10 best licensed NES games. Gremlins 2. Yeah, good. Mission Impossible. If I haven't played it, haven't played it. Been watching the shows constantly on in my fucking living room all the goddamn time. Little Nemo. Yeah, everyone loves Little Nemo. Little Nemo's good. Little Nemo good. Good game. Tiny Toons. Don't like this one. Don't like it. Willow. I have not played the Willow game. Apparently it's a Zelda clone. Star Trek 25th Anniversary. Don't you like this one? Do you like the NES version, Mortis? I haven't played it. It's good. I like that. Here we go. Goonies 2. This is why it's included in today's broadcast. They don't make them like they used to. These good for nothing for tellies are back, and this time they kidnapped all of Mikey's friends. This is a hot take that Goonies 2 is pure NES magic. Not one to just stand around and kick rocks, Mikey decides to take matters into his own hands and rescue his friends from the Fratellis. By exploring a maze-like series of locations and houses, caves, and underwater areas, Mikey will have his work cut out for him as he works towards the surprise of a lifetime waiting for him at the end of his journey. The Goonies 2 is the pinnacle of classic NES exploration. It might come off as a virtually unplayable without a guide, but The Goonies 2 is everything that was amazing about old school action platforming adventure. Writing down notes as players made progress, discovering secrets, and finding optimal routes were how it was done back in the day. Everything from its music to its graphics to its sound effects and controls is all pitch perfect NES. For any player who gave up on it due to a lack of direction, grab a guide, give it a little patience, and get ready to experience one of the best adventure games on the system. Well, this guy loves Goonies too. Batman. Yeah, Batman's good. Great. I think I've said this before. Uh, when I worked at Barnes & Noble in college, I'd play Batman a lot on the computer there. I remember reading Kafka a lot there too. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade game, may be even better than the arcade original. I mean, it's a good NES game. DuckTales. Is DuckTales number one? DuckTales is number one. Hey, DuckTales is good. I don't suck it off like everyone loves the DuckTales, but DuckTales good. My favorite here is probably Batman. Probably the Batman. Nostalgia reasons at this point. I do kind of like the Gremlins too. I think it's hard, Gremlins too, but it's kind of fun. That's it. That's all I have for news. Um, Thank you for joining me. Monday, June 9th, 2025. Will I be back regularly? Probably not. But I wanted to get one of these in because it's been brewing in my head for a couple weeks to do one. So I can't say it's gonna be every Monday or even in the morning, but I woke up, couldn't sleep. I got my walk in, my long walk in. Then it was like fucking. I got a shower, and it was 9 in the morning, and I was like, "What the fuck am I gonna do now?" May as well do an episode of Dog Hole News. So I whipped it together. Hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you, Mortis, for being here live.